When Mr. Reese and Ms. Shaw access the security system in the building where he works, they found you approaching him at precisely 7:04 a.m. I prepared a preliminary study of his digital footprint, and in my estimation, the most dangerous thing in Cyrus Wells' life is you. Whatever your plan is, Ms. Groves, I believe you're going to get him killed.
Emmy Award-winning actor Michael Emerson stars as Finch on the CBS series Person of Interest. You probably also remember him as villain Ben Linus on Lost, considered one of the greatest TV villains of all time. He joins me now. Great to have you here.
Nice to be here, thank you.
A little laugh when I said the villain.
Well, I guess it's fun to be the villain, and that was a nice role to play. And often villains are the roles you want to play. Villains, I would say, on average, have more fun than the good guys. At least the actors playing them have more fun.
You're now on Person of Interest, and you're
Yes.
not playing. You're not a villain character on this show, for sure.
No, I'm a good guy, but I'm a quirky good guy, which is also good fun for an actor.
Well, I heard that James Caviezel said that, and your co-star said, this is the hardest working cast he's ever seen before.
It is hard work for actors. When you think the schedule that people have if they're on a half-hour comedy, and then you think the hours we have and the amount of time we spend outdoors, which is kind of crazy. And in the New York winter, particularly this New York winter, it's been rough, and I've wondered if I've chosen the right career sometimes. We shot in that Tuesday snowstorm in Madison Square Park, and it was all outdoors all day. After a while, if your core body heat goes too low, your lingual nerve stops firing, and then you can't really talk properly. And it was really strange, the effect it would have. And if you can't talk, then you can't do the scene.
We're in the midst of season 3. What can we see the rest of the season? What can we expect?
Storylines that are already in motion. There is competition to the machine out there, and the machine itself is not playing by the rules any longer. So it's a very scary time for our heroes, whether they'll get numbers, whether they'll get the right numbers, or whether they're being played. There's a lot of that going on.
Your character has evolved a little bit. The machine has evolved. The show has evolved. What can you say about your character's story arc?
Well, like on any good television program that runs a long time, the characters evolve and they grow more complicated. You hope that they do, and you begin to see the cracks in the veneer that you may have taken for granted at the beginning. Mr. Finch may be more tired and more uncertain than he was at the beginning of things. And he has more moral dilemma, I think, now that the machine has gone rogue, in effect, and that the forces allied against them, it must make him sleepless. They seem so powerful and so numerous and insurmountable.
You have a steady gig as an actor now, and that wasn't always the case. You were a magazine illustrator. Your trajectory has been very interesting. Was acting always the end goal?
I think it's always what I really wanted to do. I tried to put it out of my mind for a good long time, 10 years or more, but it kept nagging at me. I don't think I had any illusions of making money at it or being well known. It was such a relief to find the thing that felt right to me that I would have suffered any other privation just to have that certainty, to be comfortable and to know that I had hit on it.
And throughout that time, you were doing some theater, but you were also a carpenter, a teacher, landscaper.
I wore all the hats. I mean, I did whatever I could. I was living in the South at the time, which is not the most auspicious place to begin an acting career. But it seems to have worked out for me. I liked it, and I have always followed good material. So even in the South, Shakespeare was my thing. He's always going to be kind of my thing. And as long as you stick to, how do I want to say it, your bliss, or the thing that you know in your heart is right, then something will fall together. And I say to young actors, I never really made a living as an actor until I was 50. Could you stand it? Could you wait that long? Mercifully, no one asked me that question when I was in my 20s. I might have said, no, that's ridiculous.
Right.
I'm bagging this, but it seems to have worked out.
I think it's an inspirational story for young
hope so.
actors. You know, it could shows you that you can start your career at any point, really.
Yeah,
You can.
I think that's true. And there's something nice about a thing coming late. You know, the road to show business is strewn with young people who had a big success early and found it elusive, found that they couldn't hang on to it for the rest of their lives. But I'm already in the rest of my life, so there won't be many regrets.